Good morning, everybody. Sorry about the delay. We had a little bit of a technical issue this morning, but I do want to talk on this Sunday morning live show about Manchester United's transfer plan, transfer future, and how it only works if Manchester United's setup in the first team actually works properly itself. Welcome along to the show, everyone. Please give the video a like. Please subscribe to FUTV United TV. It doesn't always start off on a Sunday morning like this, but everything on my computer decided that it didn't want to work this morning, and here we are. We're a little bit late, but we are actually live and we are going. So let's get into the stories. Let's see what's going on international duty with players, who's performed well, who is standing out for their countries as well, because it has been a pretty decent week again for Manchester United on the transfer front. On the international front. I wish we were making more transfers right now. But on the transfer side of things, Manchester United's plan and Fabrizio Romano, and what he has been talking about and what he has said is INEOS's, in particular, vision for Manchester United going forward, and how they are looking into the market for the young talent, like what we've already secured this summer in the likes of Kone, Lascelles, Chido Obi Martin, and Overy as well. Manchester United now are going into the next summer, next transfer windows in the same format. It's going to be a blueprint which is going to be used continuously through every single summer. But the only problem with that, obviously, is that Manchester United's first team needs to be that appealing destination where these players can then thrive after everything that they've done, all of the work done behind the scenes. You would have noticed that I've talked about this and alluded to this before, but it's just something that I wanted to talk about because Romano was talking about it on his YouTube channel yesterday in terms of what he has been told, what's happening behind the scenes at Manchester United, and what the plans might actually be going forward for United in the transfer windows. There are obvious areas of the pitch where we need improving. There are obvious issues that we need sorting within this team, but the important thing is, according to Romano and what's happening with United now, is behind the scenes they are looking at putting in a future-proof plan for bringing in younger talent continuously throughout the summer. And eventually this is going to take over what is now seen as that sort of mixed match, let's just get what we can type of transfer window, with United going for every single player that's available, or what used to be. It was a little bit different this summer, wasn't it? We're bringing in real targets and younger players and making sure that we weren't just buying players that were coming for a last swan song, say, at Manchester United, and players that were just coming just because they can just finish their career off with a bang at another big football club like Manchester United. It's the way it's gone all the way through. But the brilliant work that was done in the summer, which it was, and I still argue with everybody about the transfer window now, I still think it was a very good window for the players that we did buy. But the more important thing was, and the most impressive thing that United did do in that transfer window, was bringing in the younger talents, like what we did, where we persevered with Obi Martin, where we persevered with Lascelles, Overy. Obviously, we bought in Kone as well from Mali, and these players still, Kone still has not played a game. There is a new development system at Manchester United's academy right now, where players that have been brought in from maybe overseas, like what's been said, and what we've just talked about then, is it's the plan. Sorry, I lost myself for a second there, actually. This is where Manchester United now, when they come into the academy and they actually start to be developed within, they are not going to be rushed forward into any action within the under-18s or under-21s, which is big on its own. So you can see how far away these players are from the first team. And honestly, right now, looking at that first team, I've said this many a times, people have been saying, why are we not throwing a mass into the situation when it comes to struggling at left back and so on and so forth. You've got to look at what's actually happening in that first team. And I think it's the right decision that the academy separates itself from the first team right now. Yes, you'll have certain players like Toby Collier coming in at certain times, but we've now noticed since Collier has been brought into the first team, and had that little taste of football, he hasn't just been left there. And this is the key thing in all of this. He's not just being left there to linger around and get used to playing with the first team players in training or going on match days. He's been moved straight back into the academy setup. He's playing in the under-21s. He's made his debut for the under-20s for England as well, Collier. And I think they've just got this thing in place now, or like I said, this programme where the players will get an opportunity here and there, but that's not going to be, you've made it. Just because you had a little taste of it doesn't mean you're going to be there every single week. You're going to be eased in bit by bit. And I think that's the same with the new players coming in at the academy. So anyone who's asking, why the hell have we not seen Kone play yet? What's happening with Martin? They are just training. They are being integrated in. They are being eased into the system at Manchester United. And that is the system. And that's what's going to be married in terms of getting them players into the first team as well. And this is what Romano was talking about in his piece on his channel yesterday, when he was saying that Manchester United's plan now is to continue doing this and provide Manchester United players through their own academy, rather than having to go out and fork out fortunes every single summer. Yes, they will have to do that for the foreseeable to make sure that Manchester United are competing and getting back in the Champions League. But while they're only just, well, let's say for instance this summer when we brought in 5 players and we all thought good players that are helping the first team, so we brought in half a first team basically, because they're all going to be fighting for that one place in that first 11 for, or what was at the start of the season, Ten Hag. Maybe not towards the back end of this season if Ten Hag has actually been let go. But still, when you look at it and the way that it's set up, Manchester United will only have to buy 1 or 2 big players going forward in the transfer windows to come. And I think this is the system and everything that's wanting to be put in by United. And Kone not playing, Chibo, Obi Martin not playing for a long time yet. Just a development factor and everything that's going on at Manchester United. And I feel like it's right that we don't see these players anywhere near the first team. Like I just said, Amas, do you want him in this mess? Do you want him to be getting a taste for the carnage, which is Manchester United's first team right now? And the only negative about the football club is the first team right now. Everything else is going in the right direction. We've said it many a times, but really, I actually feel like this is Manchester United separating that academy and what's good with the first team and what's bad. Personally, I think this is the system now that's going to be put in place. They don't need to be there, and they don't. Everyone is doing well where they are, and all of a sudden they come through and we see the negative straight away. Because they're probably not ready. Because they've probably been rushed through, and we're probably all excited, and the pressure's on Manchester United to bring young talent through and bring them into the first team so we can see them. As we can sort of all relive that Stalgia UFC moment again, where these players are actually coming in and supplying Manchester United's first team with brilliant talent. This is what I feel is important for Manchester United to stand strong on, in not rushing the players through now. Develop them properly like we've not done before. Like, you will have the odd one out of that group then that comes through and absolutely destroys it, which is the Garnachos or the Kobe Mainus. There will be one that advances quicker than everybody else, and they may be able to come through. But Manchester United's first team squad has got itself in this situation where it is right now, and we shouldn't be relying on young academy players coming out of the academy too early to try and rescue what they've ballsed up already. Keep it separate, let them develop properly, let the academy take care of its academy players properly, and we'll deal with everything else. I think that's what we've got to do going forward. I think the programme and the transfer structure that Romano was talking about is exactly that. It's being strict in not rushing players in, bringing the right players through, developing them in the setup that we are going to have, which is very good already, as we know. And then we can start looking at individuals properly and making sure that they are fully ready to come into the first team. Because I do believe that this next summer window, we're going to get the mass exodus again. And then you can look at it, reset, like what's in the academy, what's in the first team squad. Let's go from there. Let's maybe pick out a couple of players that we could bring into the Manchester United fold from overseas, like proper transfers that you'd expect, but not as many. I just don't think we need as many. We need to be buying the best that we need to for certain positions. I mean, I thought that we did that in the summer. But again, I'll just go back to an issue that I've got with Ten Hag. I don't think he's the right man to utilise that. I'm going to go into the internationals and what our players have been doing as proof of this again in a minute. But I'm just going to come to your comments early doors. I know a few of you were waiting around early on because I had a few technical issues. In terms of my voice as well, guys, honestly, you know, when you just wake up one morning and everything's gone, like, I feel great, I got no problem, but my voice has completely left me for some strange reason, and I'm going full on deep voice mode right now. So I do apologise if it's scaring anyone while they're having their morning Sunday breakfast or having a quick brew in bed or whatever you're doing while you're watching. But yes, I am okay, I'm absolutely fine. And yeah, I just wish that my voice didn't sound so Barry White right now, but yes. Let's get into some of the morning comments anyway and see where everyone is at with everything. Let's see where we're at here. Jay says, I bet they are waiting for Ten Hag to come back from holiday. Did you have a good holiday? Good, you're sacked. Yeah, we'll see that. He's been working while he's away, so I don't think that's going to happen. Adam making us wait while he conducts his early season review. I wish I was reviewing the season. To be honest, it doesn't take much of a review, does it? Man United have just completely underperformed on every single level. So really, no need to even go into a review on this right now and where United are at. Jeffrey says, I was talking to someone else actually. I can see quite a few of the comments actually from where I wasn't actually in the where I should be. We will never be successful with this manager, no matter what INEOS plans. No, that's why I'm making a point about this one, Venetia. I don't think that this plan is particular with Ten Hag. This is a foolproof plan for any manager coming in the future of Manchester United. And again, like, I do cling on to what positives they can. And I feel like everything that's still going on with the academy and off the pitch right now, away from the first team, is where it needs to be. And INEOS will eventually make it work for United. Somehow they will. So when you look at all of the stuff that I've just mentioned there, you look at where the first team is now, you look at the way that INEOS will probably do in the summer, when getting rid of a few more players. We'll obviously have a new manager as well. And then we can move forward to the next chapter. And I feel like, again, when we were talking last night about the manager situation and like who might come in, what type of manager? Will it be the super coach type of new age manager? We were talking about Amorim and managers like this, Potter, obviously Tuchel. Like, with everything that's in place with the academy and the players coming through, will INEOS look towards the coach type of manager, someone who can develop players better? And really use what they have put in place with this system now, and bringing in these younger players and going out and getting the younger talents from around the world and bringing them into Manchester United and bringing them through their own system. Is it better that we have a sort of coach figure? I think it's going to keep on changing for a few years with INEOS. I think we're going to still have the expectation levels there, but I feel like they're going to test out, and we may, you know what, even in INEOS's first 5 years, we may even have a couple more managers. I just think they're going to be moving and testing things around to a point where they get to that right blend that works for them and what they want to do and how much they want to control within Manchester United. And I think that relates to what we've talked about this morning and the younger players being brought through. I think they need to be nurtured properly by a proper setup, which is there right now. But what's there for these players when they go into the first team? You've got coaches that have just arrived that are trying to make a name for themselves and keep a job. You've got a manager that's clinging on to his job. You've got players that don't know if they're coming or going, that have been overpaid, that are fearing that they're going to be out in maybe January or the summer. There's nothing there in the first team right now that's enticing or will help any of these younger players. That's just my opinion. Obviously, you guys can get your opinions in on that as well. But when you look at it, it's just a bit of a mess, isn't it? It isn't all there. And United right now just have to put everything in place in that first team, separate the academy, and make sure when they do come through that everything is running smoothly there. And it's going to take a little bit of time probably to get it right within the first team setup, because that's what's letting everything down right now at Manchester United. I've been hearing about our academy being awesome for years and years and never see them. Jay, for reasons that I just explained, it's exactly why. Because there's nothing there in the first team that's going to help these players move forward, and there's too many players. We got rid of 17 in the summer. I think it's going to be very similar numbers again come this summer transfer window, and United will, I feel, make the necessary changes to that squad. They have to. And I think that looking at it, United right now, I think have got a lot more work to do before we start to see the best of these players. And it's good that a lot of these younger players coming in now are of the 16, 17 sort of variety of player, because they're nowhere near ready. Even if United's first team was running well, they're nowhere near ready to come through into that squad yet. And I feel like if they did come into the squad now, like I said, it would be wrong. But 16, 17, like maybe 16 to 18, not quite ready. I feel like in another year or maybe two, that first team will be ready to invite all of these young talents in. And I feel like that's the right time. And that's when we're going to see the best of these academy players. I don't think it's going to be this season. maybe not even next season, maybe the season after, I think we might see the best of what the academy is doing right now and the investment into that side of things that INEOS have put in themselves. Lanzel says, "Hi Adam, I like the system, but we need to win now. Good for the future." Yeah, like I just said, I think I just explained and answered that question without even reading it out first, Lanzel. But it is a case of everything's going well there, but we still got to concentrate on the first team. And until we buy in the certain players and get them working well, then we do need to just make sure that everything is still working right behind the scenes and everything is still being changed in the first team. It still needs to be mixed up and changed. Bear with me 1 second, everyone. It's absolute carnage morning with everything going on, honestly. Morning, Adam. Mods chat. Just don't understand that these players play great at etc. That's the country yet, and then we can't pick the best 11. No, I'm going to go into that now. It's a case of everything right now as it is. Players failing. International duty. Manchester United players again. You look at Manuel Agate. Best player of the pack, playing at centre-back, for God's sake. I mean, I don't want to see him at centre-back. I want to see him in midfield. I want to see him in in that holding midfield role. But still, at least he's getting minutes and he's going to be available for Manchester United come the weekend. I don't think he's going to be playing, personally. I don't know if Ten Hag is going to put him in. I think, again, after the international duty, I think he'll have the excuse not to. And I don't think Manuel Agate will start against Brentford. Bruno Fernandes, player of the match for Portugal last night. How many times have we been saying that? And how many times have we been saying the same thing about Bruno? When he goes away to Portugal, he just is a different animal. He was taught, he even knew, like Bruno Fernandes knew what was going to happen before he even played. I mean, he was talking about it in his interview, in his press conference. He knew that he was going to end up turning up in that game because he's got better players around him. He feels more comfortable. And it just goes to show right now at Manchester United that everything is all over the place. And whatever's happening on the training ground, whatever's happening within the dressing rooms, the whole culture of everything around that first team right now, that something is not right. When you've got international players going away and performing better for their international teams than they are their club teams, then you know that there's a problem. You know there's an issue there. And we have got that problem right now at United. It's Eriksson played again last night in a front three for Denmark. And as far as international weeks go, remember when we used to hate international weeks because we were scared about what the players might do? We're actually doing well on international breaks now because the players are going away and actually getting game time and actually feeling great about themselves and possibly coming back to United in a bit more of a confident frame of mind. It's all wrong, I know, but good in the same way. And I just feel like right now, the international players that are out there doing well, you're just hoping that they can hold on to some of that international sort of vibe and that confident vibe that they've had while playing for the countries. And then you have to pray that Ten Hag can latch onto that as well. But like I said a minute ago, I just don't see Ten Hag being able to use what's happened in this international break to his advantage. And you look at it, you've got how many players being rested out at Manchester United not playing right now? Lenny Yoro is going to be back next month. Luke Shaw apparently is going to be available for the Brentford game. I keep hearing it, I keep reading it, I keep watching stories and people talking about it. And Luke Shaw is going to be fit and available. Whether he starts or not, I got no idea. But he's going to be available. Malacia is going to be available in a few weeks apparently now as well. So that's even more good news for Manchester United. You've got all of the international players only getting a certain amount of game time. So if you're worried about players overplaying, then you can need to take that out of it. This whole thing about the players having too many games to play. Yeah, on paper, it looks like it's bad. But look at the reality. The reality is these players are actually not playing that many games this season. And they're all being rested out. I mean, you look, Bruno played, Dello played 90 minutes. They're the only two United players alongside Agate that have had 90 minutes pretty much in international duty this week. And them two play every single week anyway. But you look at De Ligt, not played much. Xerxes not played much. Anthony Casemiro within the squad hasn't even played at all. Rashford's not played at all. There's plenty of players there at Manchester United that have got loads of rest time. You're getting players recovering that were probably played that shouldn't have been played, that had niggles and injuries. And when we come back from this international break, Manchester United should be more than ready to go again. We should be more than ready to go out there and kill Brentford at weekend. But it's a tough game, and it will be another hard watch, I feel, against Brentford on Saturday. Look, I will be back later on this evening. I'm sorry we've cut the show short. I had a technical issue early doors. I do have to get out to football right now, but I just wanted to give you the update on what certain people were saying regarding the academy and the transfer setup going forward. But that pretty much is your morning update with everything going on. It's international break, everybody, and there isn't a lot happening right now. We'll go through everything in detail in a full breakdown tonight on the evening show at 6:30. Don't miss that one. The Sunday interactive show will kickstart the whole build up to the week, and the content will be coming thick and fast. I can promise you that, everybody. But thanks again, everybody, for being in the chat, for being patient, more importantly, as well. I do appreciate it. I don't know what happened this morning, but we've fixed it now, and we'll be good to go later on. So please do enjoy your Sunday, everybody. I will be back this evening, and this evening's show will kickstart the normal schedule going into this week, and it will be full steam ahead, looking ahead to the football coming back next weekend, everybody. Have a fantastic Sunday, everybody, and I will see you all later on. Have a great one.